So thanks for staying with us. After 57 years, the agitation for restructuring Nigeria has never been this tensed. Some believe that fiscal federalism is the only solution, while some actually say allocating resource to different states would help restructure Nigeria. So we ask, what do people understand by restructuring, and do you see restructuring as a tool actually to calm tensions in the country? Joining us is the CEO, Diaspora, PR, and leader for One New Nigeria, Jermaine Sanwoolu. Welcome to the show, Jermaine.
Thank you very much for having me, ladies.
You can call us on 070-80668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your view TVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so restructuring, we're talking about it for the past few months now. Everybody knows it's the latest word.
Yes, it is.
You know, so since you are from the Diaspora, PR, what's your own understanding of restructuring first, and do you think is the way forward?
Well, I studied estate management at the University of Lagos, and I realized that the structure, there's substructure and the superstructure. The substructure is just the foundation. And when you talk about restructuring, it's about actually reviewing what actually is going on under before you talk about doing what's on the top. Now, at the bottom, if there's something bad at the bottom or the substructure, you can underpin it. Okay. Those underpinning is what will make you have more on the superstructure. If you want to build up more, if you want to do any modifications, it all starts with the foundation. Now, restructuring Nigeria is just as easy as that. Right. It's just, well, let me say as simple as that explained, is that you just have to restructure what actually brings us together, and that is our constitution. That is the foundation of our existence. If you're saying that restructuring, some people say it's about we need to restructure ourselves. Personal transformation or personal restructuring, it comes with a decision. But national development and national restructuring comes with a review of the Constitution. Right. Look at what is actually going on right there and say, okay, is what is going on right for us? Do we adopt the PONACO's 2007 People's Constitution? Do we go back to 1963? Do we even adopt the 2014 amended Constitution? So that is what restructuring is all about. Okay. It doesn't mean many things to many people. It just means change how things are done.
Because so many people are clamoring for one thing or the other, and because this call for restructuring, this is not the first time. We had the call for Sovereign National Conference in the past, we had the confab, and now we're screaming restructuring. Some people think that these people are just distracting us from where we are going. They're just personal agitations that there's really no grounds for.
Do we actually know where we're going?
Do we actually know where we're going? And this call for restructuring, this foundation, Sovereign National Conference, are they honest agitations?
Well, I believe they are honest. I know Mr. President said that some irresponsible people actually taking it out, of course. The Minister of Information, Alhaji Mohammed, said that it's those political people who have, failed politically, aggrieved people who are doing it. But when you hear names as Wole Soyinka, Chief Anthony Anyao, you hear people like Apostle, or should I call him Prophet, Tunde Bakare. You hear people, even Asiwaju, Bola Ahmed, Tinubu, Obasanjo talking about restructuring. Alhaji
because the names you mentioned now were people who held political offices in the past, who could have done something.
They could have done it, but you see, I believe just as the national, Nigerian national, what they call it,
reorientation
agency,
NOA.
You understand? NOA,
yes.
And also these people that the Nigerian National Constitution Organization, what they said was that President Buhari has to actually be on the right side of history right now. In the past, there has not been so much awareness, enlightenment, engagement by the polity, by young Nigerians, even on social media and everywhere, talking about restructuring. Now is the time for us to make a decision. Then, maybe the political climate was not right. They were still dilly-dallying, discussing things. But the British High Commissioner, acting British High Commissioner to the UK, to Nigeria, actually said, she said that the discussion for restructuring right now is a healthy one. Okay. So it's something that must be done to move forward in our nation.
So you are pioneering the move of One Nigeria. In the midst of the conflict that people say that restructuring might be dividing Nigeria, can you clarify can you clarify the difference between what you're promoting, oneness of Nigeria, and restructured Nigeria within us still being one.
Yeah.
How do you think it can work?
Fantastic question. Now, what I am actually, the project I'm actually running is called the One New Nigeria Project.
Okay.
OneNewNigeria.org. You'll find out more we are doing. We are engaging people of different places, celebrities, influencers like yourself, and engaging them in this dialogue through social media, photos and videos to say, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Now, it is important that we have to work on one new Nigeria. Pastor Tunde Bakari actually said it in his State of the Nation address yesterday. He said that he sees a time whereby a new north will arise, a new south will arise to form a new Nigeria. We're not advocating dividing the country. Nigeria is already one, you understand? And we need to now say, let us have a new way of doing things. Let us think differently, let us act differently.
Please, Jumoke, quick addition. We've had the confab, which cost a lot of money. My fear is, and a lot of people are worried that this restructuring, before they will not say they want to call another meeting, everybody should come and talk about what restructuring means, and it will start costing us another, 10
billion.
Another budget for that we don't have.
Yes.
How can we restructure without having to do a conference, without having to do all those expensive venture?
Well, the easiest way they can actually do it is to actually adopt either the PONACO's People's Constitution or to just go on with the confab report. It may interest you to know that President Muhammad Buhari alongside Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu actually attended the PONACO's conference then. They were part of it, but they weren't part of the 2014 as you know, for political reasons and all that. Yeah. But we have working solutions. The confab 2014, people came together from all tribes of the nation to try and work on a solution for Nigeria.
The lawmakers again.
Yes.
Okay. Like you said, we need to restructure the constitution that brought us together.
Yes.
This constitution can only be amended
by
this group set of people.
Why is it so difficult for the members of the House to understand and appreciate the need and
importance? Would you as a private citizen be willing to propose a bill, raise support, galvanize support for that bill, and approach the National Assembly that, okay, now we want a clause allowing referendum?
Definitely, and I'm sure there are many patriotic Nigerians who actually who will support me, like beautiful ladies like you too. The fact now is that Nigerians want this thing. We are clamoring for this. Governor Dixon of Bayelsa said that these patriotic Nigerians that are calling for restructuring, and President Muhammad Buhari has to come together and say this is the right time to do this kind of thing. It is not a time to say, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? It's going to work. The legislature and the buck stops with the president.
Right.
The president has to make a decision and say, you know what, I want this thing to happen. You understand? Let's make it happen.
That's the only thing that he does for us.
Exactly.
And we will praise him for it.
Legacy. He has to think about the future today and say, what is he going to be remembered for?
Right.
Is he going to be remembered as the man who actually ensured that Nigeria he's the father of the new Nigeria?
Right. Okay.
Is he what is going to be? A transformational leader.
Yes. Politics is very similar to religion. And I hear my pastor say all the time that before you preach to somebody, feed them first. Because if they are hungry, that your Jesus that you are preaching will not enter their ears. Survival is the basic instinct. Our politics is where it is today because people are hungry. So if you put 1,000 naira inside bread for me, so that is the one that I have seen, I will vote you. We were supposed to talk at a meeting for young Nigerians, only elderly women and elderly men with their Ghanaian attires came. Where are the young people? They're chasing after survival. So while we are talking all of this, the support you need is in the youth. We are the ones in the majority. How do we galvanize the Nigerian youth, who is 70% of the electorate?
Exactly. Well, that's what we're trying to do in the OneNewNigeria.org project, is that we are saying we're going to use social media, we're going to use photos, we're going to use videos. We've included people like Ali Baba, Julius Agu, the MD CEO of people like that.
Let me pause you for a second, because I always wonder how effective that is, because the guys who really vote, you see, when things happen, when things happen, maybe there's a small rally going on, you see the guys. They don't. Former Governor Fashola called them the good boys of Lagos. The good boys. When they show up, you realize that all this your English are speaking, they outnumber you. So how do we get to them? Because they are the ones that we need.
We have tradition. Let me tradition. I was in Ekiti, and there was a rally that day of the burial. The rally too had a large crowd of people. They're not on social media. How do you want to reach them?
Well, everyone, you may be surprised that they will be on social media. Almost everyone, there are billions of people who have Facebook accounts. They are all there and they are all watching. They read the news. So you look at the social media, look at the conventional media, and you must also have grassroots engagement. Going to people and engaging them with meaningful dialogues and saying, what do you want this Nigeria, this one new Nigeria to be like? Because it's essential. If influentials are quiet about this, they're not talking about it. And that's why I'm saying I'm going to engage the people with the celebrity culture, because they are the ones who they listen to, the Wizkids, the Davidos. If they can say, you know what, with unity in mind, that we want a new Nigeria, we can be changed.
You're very correct. Let me throw in another angle here. When we look at the numbers across Nigeria, the Southwest, South, even our representatives, it's not as much as the reps in the northern region.
Absolutely.
They have bigger numbers.
Yes.
So if you do all your advocacy, all your sensitization here, we still don't have the numbers
at all
to get that referendum from the north. So we still need somebody who is reaching out to the youth in the north to understand this newness, this new Nigeria we're talking about, because we need their numbers.
Exactly.
So what are we going to do to get those ones?
Locally, National Assembly just passed the not too young to vote.
Not too young to run.
To run, you know, exactly. And also you can see what actually happened was that the devolution of power bill was actually crushed. And that's because, as you said, the northern side of Nigeria has more people in the seats. Exactly. And the question is now, do they really want this thing to happen? But we can see that the president set up a committee, the APC, led by the governor of Kaduna, and said, you know what, let's talk about this thing. It's important because they are realizing, just like Babangida and the other people, that it is essential at this point in time. And we have to invoke the doctrine of necessity. As the National Assembly saved us during the third time bid of oppositional areas, they have to save Nigeria at this point in time so that we can have one new Nigeria.
Break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation with tweets and phone calls. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So let's take some tweets and phone calls.
Yes.
Okay.
Troubleshooter says, talking about restructuring, almost if not all the northern states are against it. They want to hold on to the presidency. Omo Bolanho Bab says, I doubt seriously if the present crop of National Assembly members will agree with restructuring. It will affect their finances. Fashola Femi says, what do you mean by new Nigeria? Jumoke, how do you help Nigeria youths around you?
Ugochi Usofo says, restructuring, leave that side. We Nigerians want to see results today. Good roads, jobs, medical amenities, food, period.
Pause. You know what? It's important that, because our objective is to educate and enlighten.
Yes.
Good roads, good health system, that would come. We see right now, one of the reasons we're saying there's a problem with that, because everything is at the center. And they're giving us chunks. So what we're saying, whoever that person is, that break it up, right? Let's have everybody, we're independent. The regions are independent, at least from certain angle. So it's easier for you to provide this house, good roads in your region than going to the federal government to
breaking it down
resources.
Breaking it down.
You manage your resources.
It's no longer federal power to, mine.
Nobody is giving you money.
And you're not collecting allocation.
It's important that Ijoma understands that. Okay, yes.
I wanted Ray to respond to you on Twitter.
And that's what led to the success of the 1963 Constitution, whereby everyone was left to grow and develop at their own pace and contribute to the center. That is what true federalism is all about.
Exactly.
Individual states, federating units contributing to the top. Now, in the Punako People's Constitution of 2007, what it suggested was that we have 18 federating units. And the same thing happens that they go to the top. The CONFAB report said that we should have more states operating within 6 geopolitical federating units, zones, to work together. So we must restructure and we must think, because what is going on right now is from like a unitary kind of government that is not actually helping.
We have options.
Tell me,
we
are
do
you
have
there?
options.
Thanks for calling.
Yes, I'm here.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morayo,
Yes.
restructuring is what you have just explained. We have been practicing it before.
Yes.
West was known for cocoa, North was known for cotton, East was known for other types of agriculture, and they were paying percentages into the federal cover. That is what they are asking for. Restructuring doesn't mean that the country should break.
Divide.
No.
It doesn't.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Also, the agitations for good road and healthcare, for now, the blame is put into the center. So because everybody not understanding what restructuring means, makes them think that we're just speaking big grammar.
Yes.
It means that you now hold your governor accountable for all the good roads and hospitals.
Because now,
government.
your governor will tell you, they're not giving us money allocation.
Number one, but they can say that this is federal road, I cannot touch it. That's why you're not doing it.
Yeah. But
Yes, Nima.
yes.
May I ask this question? Because, you know, the fear of what happened that caused the civil war is why we have a strong federal unit today and weaker, you know, states.
Yes.
Because, you know, regions were in control of resources, and one person thought, I was in control of my army, I could break away.
Yes.
And that was what led to the civil war.
But it was General Rossi
And
that actually changed that.
That was why they decided
the
to
war.
strengthen the federal
Yes.
better than, you know, have regions strong.
Was it under
Now,
democratic rule?
No, it was
It
It
wasn't.
was under
It
military
wasn't.
rule.
The military
So the-
thought. I'm just
Yes,
saying now.
yes.
Now to my question: can we now say that with good governance, with justice, with, you know, the necessary provisions, all these things that we are saying, even if the regions are strong, we would not have anything to, you know, to resort to a civil war in the future?
Well, absolutely. See, you know,
Fantastic
all
question.
these things, good governance, good votes, electricity, they are all the superstructure. The substructure which will underpin and hold everything is the foundation, is the constitution that binds us together.
Right.
Now, what you saw happening back then was that the military was in power, and the military is authoritarian. They want all the power to flow to the center, and they can control things, control coups, control everybody from the center. But now that there is now a democratic rule, and you must remember the 1999 Constitution was given to us by the military.
Yes,
They call it the People's Constitution that they gave it to us. Are we the people of Nigeria? No. It is they're the military that gave it to we.
People, let me take Marvelous
You
for a second.
understand?
Marvelous, are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Morning, thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning to your guest. Happy New Month and
Happy
happy
New Month. Yes.
To me, Murayo, I feel that restructuring, I do not support it. I am a young guy. I'm 21. But Murayo, I believe that what are we restructuring when we don't have integrity? People don't have integrity. All these governors that I say we should give power to, with the little that they are even giving them, they are spending it. Look at the governor of Niger State. He's owing 6 months' salary, and he went to UK to go and watch a Chelsea versus Man City match. This is very wrong. We see a lot of youth that have taken over power now. Look at Dino Melaye, he's 42. Look at the Ayabelo, the youngest governor. See what they are doing. Doing any, I was saying that there's nothing that concerns them. Before we restructure, please let us first have integrity.
That's a fantastic point.
So may I go,
Which was my
please? May I
question,
go?
please?
May I? Please. Based on what he has said, which is a valid fear.
Yeah.
You know, the way we're asking for state policing, and people are saying governors will misuse power if they have. So how do we restructure Nigeria to the extent that even though the states are now in control of their own police and their own finances and everything, and we have the fear of, what if the wrong person gets into governance? What is the power of the people to ensure that good governance will always prevail, regardless of who is in power in our new structure?
Absolutely. We need to build a good structure. That's the thing. And again, it comes to the Constitution. It comes to what binds us together. If you are presently at the moment doing what you want to do the way you want to do it, and you are getting this kind of results, that should just say is indicative that there's a problem somewhere and you must solve it. So Nigeria can actually make things work, by Nigerians making things work. Now, what the caller said about we being people of integrity. Now, for there to be national reformation, there must have to be personal transformation. Absolutely. For us to be people of integrity, which I'm sure many of us are, is the minority that do this kind of thing.
How do we hold them accountable?
Well, we need to hold them accountable with our vote.
Okay.
That's why we need to get people.
I want to quickly just say something,
Right.
because marvelous
Yes.
agitation is true, and I share it as much as, but I'm not against restructuring. I believe there's room for restructuring.
Yes.
But I also agree that the structure we have hasn't been fully maximized. We did not maximize the structure. That's why there's agitation. So even when we restructure, if we don't maximize that restructuring, we will still have agitations, because the constitution has not been fully implemented. The money deployed to every ministry and parastatal isn't fully executed. They're not using the money well. So it's not about constitution. It's about the people managing the constitution that are not doing the right thing. It's not the question that's making the police to brutalize people. It's not the question that's making one person steal money meant for the other people.
Well, I
believe the individual.
Okay, we have to round up.
Yes.
Let me let you have the last word.
Yeah, I believe in one new Nigeria. I believe in a Nigeria of our dreams, whereby everything that we hope and we aspire for will actually come to a reality. We need to know that we must stay united, not divided. We must form a new Nigeria with new orientations and ensure that we have a constitution that represents our most earnest needs. OneNewNigeria.org is where we all are. You know, this is just our stuff. Visit us.
All right, we have to round up. But I think Marvelous raised an extremely important point of integrity. So we agree with restructuring, but I think as we move forward, because this conversation doesn't end here, we're going to continue to talk about it because everybody's talking about it. But we need to raise the issue of integrity. We must show that we actually own this government and we have the integrity to uphold
personal transformation is key.
So that's all. Thank you very much, Jermaine.
Let's cut our cake before we run off.
Let's do this. Happy birthday, Nigeria.
Happy birthday, Nigeria.
Oh, there's a knife there. Oh, yeah. Oops.
All right. Oh, wow. Okay, good.
Let's.
So happy Independence Day, Nigeria. We have to go.
Thanks to Twin by Jane for our dress.
Thank you. Jemima for the cap.
Pearls. And rubies for the cake. Really, thank you so much. The dresses look really nice. Let me take a nice picture. So it was really, really, thank you so much. All right, have a fabulous day. We'll see you
tomorrow.